Good morning to all. Welcome back to our English class. Are you okay there? I think all of you are okay. In the previous class, we have read about the homeopath. What he was doing there, he was sitting in front of a table looking into the mirror. Now, at that time, a snake fall down from the attic. Attic means upstairs. And was wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on his shoulder. And then he said he didn't jump, not trembled, even did not cry. But why? Because in no time the snake slithered along his shoulder and coiled around his left arm above the elbow. And then what happened? Yes, the snake spread its hood and its head is just 3 or 4 inches from his face. Oh, that is too close. Why did the doctor say that he turned to stone? Yes, he sat still because he was scared. He sat still, holding his breath. He thought that if he moved a little, the snake will bite him. He then looked like a stone image. He can't move. How can he move? The snake might bite him. But what about his mind? Of course, he can think. His mind was active, which means he could think. Many thoughts sprang up in his mind. What am I going to do? Are these my last moments of life? He looked and found everything dark. Now, darkness symbolizes something. Is he losing hope? Now, a consoling thought came to his mind. He thought about someone who was that? Huh? The creator of the universe, God Almighty. What made the doctor think about God? Yes, he was frightened that it is his last moment. He was so scared that he felt the presence of the great creator of the universe. Now, he did not want to take a chance. If he thought something else and God did not like it, what will happen? He did not want to take a chance. And in his imagination, outside his heart, he wrote the word, "Oh God." Now, we have to go through the text. I didn't jump. I didn't tremble. I didn't cry out. There was no time to do any such a thing. The snake slithered along my shoulder and coiled around my left arm above the elbow. The hood was spread out and its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my face. It would not be correct to say merely that I sat there holding my breath. I was turned to stone, but my mind was very active. The door opened into darkness. The room was filled with darkness. In the light of the lamp, I sat there like a stone image in the flesh. I felt then the great presence of the creator of this world and this universe. God was there. Suppose I said something and he did not like it. I tried in my imagination to write in bright letters outside my little heart the words, Oh God. There was some pain in my left arm. It was as if a thick leaden rod, no, a rod made of molten fire, was slowly but powerfully crushing my arm. The arm was beginning to be drained of all strength. What could I do? At my slightest moment, the snake would strike me. That lurked 4 inches away. Suppose it struck, what was the medicine I had to take? There were no medicines in the room. I was but a poor, foolish, and stupid doctor. I forgot my danger and smiled feebly at myself. It seemed as if God appreciated that. The snake turned its head. It looked into the mirror and saw its reflection. I do not claim that it was the first snake that had ever looked into a mirror, but it was certain that the snake was looking into the mirror. Was it admiring its own beauty? Was it trying to make an important decision about growing a mustache or using eyeshadow and mascara or wearing a vermilion spot on its forehead? I did not know anything for certain. What sex was the snake? Was it male or female? I will never know, for the snake unwound itself from my arm and slowly slithered into my lap. From there, it crept onto the table and moved towards the mirror. Perhaps it wanted to enjoy its reflection at closer quarters. I was no mere image cut in granite. I was suddenly a man of flesh and blood. Still holding my breath, I got up from the chair. I quietly went out through the door into the veranda. From there, I leapt into the yard and ran for all I was worth. Each of us had a sigh of relief. All of us lit beadies. Somebody asked, Doctor, is your wife very fat? No, the doctor said. God willed otherwise. My life companion is a thin, reedy person with the gift of a sprinter. Someone else asked, Doctor, when you ran, did the snake follow you? The doctor replied, I ran and ran till I reached the friend's house. Immediately I smeared oil all over myself and took a bath. I changed into fresh clothes. The next morning, at about 8:30, I took my friend and one or two others to my room to move my things from there. But we found we had little to carry. Some thief had removed most of my things. The room had been cleaned out. But not really. The thief had left behind one thing as a final insult. What was that? I asked. The doctor said, my vest, the dirty one. The fellow had such a sense of cleanliness. The rascal could have taken it and used it after washing it with soap and water. Did you see the snake next day, doctor? The doctor laughed. I have never seen it since. It was a snake which was taken with its own beauty. Don't you enjoy the lesson? Tell me, what are the two things to which the snake is compared? Which are the two things to which the snake is compared? Huh? Lead rod. Lead കൊണ്ടുണ്ടാക്കിയ ദണ്ട്. And a rod made of molten fire. Molten fire. എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താ? തിളച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന തീയിന്റെ ഒരു ഇതുണ്ട്. What is molten fire? Having you seen volcanic eruption? Why was the doctor experiencing pain in his arm? Why was the doctor experiencing pain in his arm? Because the snake was crushing his arm. തവിട് പൊടിയാക്കുകയാണ്, ചുറ്റിയിട്ട് കയ്യിൽ ചുറ്റിയിട്ട് ജാമാക്കി കളഞ്ഞു. Crushing his arm. Why can't the doctor move? He can't move because at the slightest moment the snake would bite him. He thinks so. He knows that everyone knew that death was lurking 4 inches away from him. That means death was very close to him. Now suppose the snake bit him. What are the medicine in that room? Is there any medicine there? He is a doctor, right? He looked around. And then he understood, oh my goodness, there are no medicines in my room. I am such a stupid and foolish doctor. Look at what he is saying now. What did he say before? I am a young, handsome bachelor doctor. Now look at what he thinking. Poor, foolish, stupid doctor. That is the change of the thought. Now, what brought that feeble smile on the doctor's face? What brought that feeble smile on the doctor's face? Remember, the snake is still there. Why did he smile even in such a situation? Why did he smile? He thought that he was a foolish and stupid doctor. That thought made him smile feebly. Now, he says God appreciate that thought. Which thought? He thought that there was nothing in his room, no medicine in his room. That thought God might appreciate. He thought that he was foolish and stupid, poor fellow, right? And why he said like that? Because now the snake turned its hood. Where is it looking? Where is it looking now? Yes, into a mirror. The snake now noticed that mirror. Don't you remember the mirror on the table? And whenever there is a mirror beside us also, we also attracted by that, or our attention was distracted by that mirror. The snake saw its own reflection in that mirror. Now, do snake look into the mirror? I am not sure. But this snake was looking into the mirror. Now, a number of thoughts came into the doctor's head. What is the snake doing? Is the snake admiring its beauty? Just like a human being? Was he taking some important decision? What was the decision? What was the doctor's decision? First one, keeping a mustache. Just like that, the doctor thought that this snake also wanted to keep a mustache. Or is she thinking about appealing or applying some mascara? Applying some mascara or eyeshadow, or wearing a vermilion spot on her forehead? Vermilion spot on her forehead. What is meaning? Vermilion. Vermilion means kungumam. Spot on her head. Just like a married woman. They will put a vermilion spot on their forehead. What is that? Sindura regil, sinduram duda. Just like a married woman. Then, just like a married woman, she wants to wear the vermilion spot on her forehead. This doctor thinks so. The poor homeopath sat there like, just like what? A stone. He was scared to move. Now, the story is about a frightening incident, isn't it? It's a frightening incident. When we are in that situation, what we will do? Huh? We will die because of frightened. Because we are frightened, we will die. Obviously, you get scared. But it was narrated in a humorous way. What makes it so humorous? Yes, the writer used some striking contrast. What is contrast? Do you know what is contrast? Something which stand against each other. Stand against each other. പരസ്പര വിരുദ്ധമായി നിൽക്കുക. അത്തരം സിറ്റുവേഷനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ കോൺട്രാസ്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Just the opposite way. And that brings about humor here. Now, let us pick up one or two instances from the story. The kind of person the doctor was. What kind of a person? The doctor. He had just started to practice as a doctor, and his earnings were meager. What kind of a person he wanted to marry? He wanted to marry a woman doctor who has a lot of practice. He wants to make his future safe. These are some contrasts. Because he wanted to marry a what kind of person? Wanted to marry a fat lady. But really he married a reedy woman. Reedy means just like a reed. What is the meaning? Reed. Mula. The thinnest plant. And second one, his thoughts when he looked into the mirror. He thought of himself as a handsome young bachelor doctor. At first, he thought like that. But when the snake wriggled on his chair and wound on his left arm, what did he thought? When this snake coiled around his arm, he thought himself as a stupid, foolish doctor. That is a contrast. Why he thinks so? Because at that time he thought about what medicines are there. If the snake had bite him, there is nothing in his room. There is no medicine in his room. That is why he thought that he was a poor, stupid, foolish doctor. Shall we attempt a short paragraph on the use of contrast in the story to bring out humor? You have to attempt it yourself. What is a poor doctor going to do now? How he was going to escape? He can't sitting like that forever. He was sitting in that chair like a stone image. Can you sit like that? No. Something want to be done. The doctor had some thoughts, but the snake is in his hand, on his hand. But what he can do now? He can't move. But he can think. His mind is still active, not like his body. His body is like a stone now, but his mind is active and he thinks. Is the snake a male or female? In such a frightful situation also, he can think like that. That is humor. But then suddenly the snake unwound itself, his arm, and slithered into his lap. മടിയിലേക്ക് ഇഴഞ്ഞ് ഇറങ്ങി. That is more scary, isn't it? The snake crept onto the table and moved towards the mirror. Yes, the snake wanted a closer look at its reflection. When this snake noticed the mirror, it wanted to look into the mirror, just like the human being. Then he said, I was suddenly a man of flesh and blood. What does the doctor mean by that statement? I was suddenly a man of flesh and blood. He started thinking again. His mind and body are ready to move together now. But in the previous moment, only his mind was ready to move, but his body not. Why? Because this snake was on his hand, coiled around his hand. His mind and body are ready to move together now. He meant he regained his presence of mind and he was free to move. And so he got. He quickly went out to the door, keeping an eye on this snake. Looking to the snake, he quietly moved out of the door into the veranda, left into the yard, and ran for his life. Our doctor was safe now. Then, in the present situation, the listeners are very eager to know about the story. Other listeners, the people who listen the story, they also are in such a relief because this homeopath escaped from the snake. Suddenly someone asked him a question. Doctor, is your wife fat? That's funny because he had thought that he wanted to marry a fat woman, right? That another contrast. I have already told you. Then he says, God willingly allow him to marry a thin, reedy woman. God's will was that he has to marry a thin, reedy woman who could run like a sprinter. Who is a sprinter? Sprinter. P.T. Usha is a sprinter, fast runner. She can run very fast. Now there came the next question. Did the snake follow you? Did the snake follow you? The listeners, one of the listeners asked him, did the snake follow you? Not at all, because he ran very fast till he reached his friend's house. He was so scared. He did not stop anywhere. He did not even turn back. He reached his friend's house. What did he do then? Maybe he sweating. Maybe he was sweating profusely. Profusely means abundantly or badly, right? He has been running. So what did he do? As soon as he reached his friend's house, he smeared Smeared what? Smeared oil all over his body. Took a bath and then changed to fresh clothes. He went to sleep. Then next morning, time at 8:30 a.m. He did not have the guts to go alone to his house because he was scared. So he asked one or two of his friends to come along, and they went together to collect all his belongings. He doesn't want to live there anymore. They reached the room. It was clean out. He noticed that the room was clean out. There was nothing in the room. What happened? The previous night, he ran out of the room. At that time, he couldn't close the room. He just ran. So, why was the room empty? Yes, a thief had taken away all his belongings. And you know what is belonging, what his belongings were? He took away everything, even his materia medica. But except a final insult. What is that? The not so white vest is there. That is the final insult. Look at that. Even the thief had the sense of cleanliness. Huh? And anyway, what about the cobra? The admirer of beauty? Doctor did not see it again. Why? There was no answer. The doctor says it was a snake which was taken with its beauty. And that saved the doctor's life. That beauty consciousness of the snake saved the doctor's life. Then it is time to wind up. We have to stop the class here. Till the next class. Thank you. Bye.